Hi, welcome to the channel. This is my 2021 Himalayan Euro 5. It's done just 6,000 kilometres now. I didn't buy it new, I bought it second hand, but it has only done, I think it was just 2,000 kilometres. I've liked the bike, but I've had quite a few problems with it. Some more serious than others, and what I think I'm going to do is trying to address the problems through videos, hopefully to help fellow Himalayan riders. What I'm going to talk about and show you today is, on the forums there's loads and loads of posts about the Himalayan engine rattling, tappets, valves, other various things. And what I'm going to do one by one is address the problems on it. The loud tappets, I see on the forums people say all Himalayan engines rattle, a noisy engine is a happy engine. Well, as an engineer it's not entirely true. I've got other bikes, I've had bikes all my life, and this is basically one of the ones that really sort of missed me off, to be honest. The valves, I'm going to do a separate video on this because there's quite a serious problem in here, and we'll show you that in a separate one. The one we're going to do today is one of the loud noises I get is from down here, lower part of the engine, and it's extremely noisy, rattling, going through. And what it actually is the oil pump drive chain and the gear. The gear slides along the shaft. It's supposed to be shinned, but it seems to be like everything else on the Himalayan, near enough is good enough. Well, for me it's not really. So I'm going to shim the gear out to stop it moving. The other thing is I'm going to replace the chain. Now it's only done 6,000 kilometres, but I can only lift the chain off the sprocket. Now there's no adjustment, and I've just bought a brand new chain. Genuine Royal Enfield. Well, I think that's all you can get is a genuine Royal Enfield. And we're going to replace this, and hopefully it takes some slack out. Mine's that slack, I can pick it up and nearly lift it off the gear. Now, I don't know whether the camera's going to pick this up, but I'll run it and see if you can hear the difference. Camera can hear this or not, I'm not too sure, but we'll try. Now I can hear it rattling, and the hotter it gets, the worse it gets. But if I pick the mic up and you give it like 5-10 seconds, the noise will disappear. Now at the moment I can still hear it rattling. There, it's gone. Gone completely. Lovely and quiet. Tip it back. And there it comes back again. Now, let me just turn this off. What that is you got the shaft and the gear's on the shaft, and the gear is moving backwards and forwards. And when the bike's on its side, I don't know whether the gear's running into the engine, that's what I assume, or it could be running up the shaft. But it's putting the chain and the gear out of line. And when it's tipped up straight, it obviously trues itself up. When it trues itself up, the noise disappears. So what I'm going to do is take crash bars off, engine casing, and get into the sort of nuts and bolts of the job. And I'm going to shim the gear out so the sprockets are in line, top and bottom, so the chain runs straight. And hopefully that with the new chain on as well should run true. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get it stripped. I'll stop the video now and I'll get all this in pieces. When I've got it stripped, we'll get back into the video so you can see the situation with the chain, how slack it is and the sliding on it, and then we'll go through shimming it up and yeah, we'll see how we get on. Put it back together and hopefully it's going to be what it should have been done in the factory. Okay? Alright, see you later. Right, we can see that okay. As you can see, the casing's off, crash bars are gone. This is our oil pump, this is the drive chain, this is the crankshaft. Now, this is our oil pump drive chain, this is what's causing me quite a bit of concern. So slack, I can actually just about lift it off the bottom of the sprocket. And my thoughts are, my fear is, I like to ride off-road with it. If I have a bit of a mishap and the bike's laid on its side, engine running, this is flying round, this could come off the sprocket, which would cause a lot of damage. Plus there's always the possibility, if it cleared the sprocket, the engine's still running without the oil pump going round. And you don't need me to tell you what that will do to the engine. The other thing is, the sprocket flops about on the shaft, and it's just the tolerances that Royal Enfield thinks acceptable. Now to me it's not, but and the other thing is, this goes in and out along the shaft, and that's held on with the circlip, which I just took off, but that's where the circlip is. So it's got that much free play. Well, you can hear it if you can't. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if we can. With that moving backwards and forwards, it's running the chain offline. Now I've looked in the parts fish, and there's a shim on the back, and there should be a shim on the oil pump side. There's no on this one. There's no shim, nothing, which is not good like. So I've also checked when the chain is tight, it needs to be, this shim needs to be nearly up to the circlip, and that makes that is running in line. Now as you saw previously, when it's laid on its side, I think the sprocket is running in, and that's when it seems to make its noise and rattle so much. And when you stood the bike up straight, I think the sprocket's running up here true, comes out and runs in line, and it goes quiet. So anyway, let's take it off. That's the outer shim. Now there should be a shim of a certain size that goes behind it as well, which I've got one here, the stainless one. So let's take the sprocket off, lift the chain off. That's our old chain, which I think, to be honest, is still pretty good, because I checked the measurement on this one and there isn't a lot in it. This is slightly tighter, but it's not a lot. It's certainly not what I'd be happy with, but you know, for some reason I don't think it needs any sort of tensioner on it. Right, let's put our shim on behind. There. Now I've got to get this on. There we go. Cast the gods with me. Now, when it's slack, it's still got this amount of play in it, but it doesn't actually, at the moment, I can't even get it onto the top of the teeth. So it is slightly tighter, but even so, you know, 6,000 kilometres the bike's done. Nothing really. Right, let's put the outer shim on, which is there, and push the circlip on. Should click in. Get the groove out.
There we go. Clicked in. That's it. Now we've only got, still got a bit of end play, but nowhere near. I can't do anything about the side play. It's just boring. The sprocket is bigger than the shaft on the oil pump. We've got rid of some of the play on here. It won't lift off the teeth. Right. So all I can do now is put the casings back together, casing gasket on, fill it up with oil, we'll run it, and we'll see now whether we've got rid of a lot of the clattering, because this clattering down here was as noisy as the rattling I've got in the top. So we'll see how we get on then. Well, welcome back. We're, as you see, all back together again. Pretty straightforward, no problems with it. Nice and quiet. Well, as quiet as it's going to be, quiet as it's been since I've owned the bike. Right, so fire it up, let's have a listen. Don't know whether you can hear or do that round a bit. Hear or not hear. Very minimal noise from here. All I can hear now is tappets rattling. Bring it forward. It doesn't make any difference. Lay back on the guide stand. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Sounds a bit more like it should do. Can't actually feel anything on the casing anymore. Before you put your hand on it, you could feel something vibrating, or there's no rattling, smooth. All that together, new oil, new filter, checked all the leaks. That's all I can say. So maybe it's probably worth, if you think about it on your bike, have a listen. Now you know how to fix the rattle down here. If you like the channel or the information I give you, click like and subscribe. Leave any comments below. I'll try to answer anything you ask me, and I'll see you in the next video.